Well, hey, YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger. I will never do that again, I promise. It's here. It's finally here. I'm super excited to bring this information to you today. It's been a long time, like June or July of 2015. They gave the key to the vault to Alex Winter. And he's been working, slaving away to make the definitive Frank Zappa biography film, and it's here. They have premiered it. It's played at some film festivals. The reviews are just trickling in, and it's good. Shocker. Who didn't think it was not going to be good? I thought it's going to be great. If it's Alex Winter, and obviously they gave him the key to the vault. So we're going to talk about all this stuff. But for you people who don't really want to stick around and listen to me yapping, you can check it out on November 27th of 2020. There is an IMDb page. There is a Rolling Stone article about the premiere. There is a Facebook page called ZAPPA Movie. Save the Vault, Tell the Story. We have, if you type in just ZAPPA Movie, you'll find quite a bit more information, including a Facebook interview featuring director Alex Winter and editor Mike Nichols, speaking to the legendary John Fishman about the ZAPPA Movie at the Camden International Film Festival. So this is a 25-minute, a wonderfully quaint interview. You should check that out. Alex Winter is the guy. Of course, the Facebook page, there is no trailer for it yet, but we're going to talk a little bit about Frank. We're going to talk a little bit about Alex and why I'm so excited about this movie. But I want you to first mark your calendar, November 27th. That's the day we're going to be able to get our hands and our eyes on a digital copy or Blu-ray, whatever you like, and sink your teeth into the definitive Frank Zappa movie. So there is no greater pedigree than Frank Zappa. If you step back and you look, he's at the top. He really is. No other artist has created a legacy for themselves like Frank did. And when I first started listening to Frank Zappa's music, the tough time I had was how he lampooned everybody. He just picked everybody to pieces and tore whatever your thing was, he would get in there and make fun of it and mock you. And like, was he perfect? Well, no, he wasn't. You know, he drank coffee and he smoked cigarettes. I'm sure he had a little wine from time to time. And I'm guessing he had more of an open marriage with his wife, Gail. None of our business. But my point is this. Frank Zappa was a workaholic who took all the money that came in from each project and didn't go blowing it on an extravagant rock and roll lifestyle with all the nose candy and hookers and blow and all that type of rock and roll business. He took that money and sunk it back into tape, video, film, and all of that's represented in the vault. The vault is an underground facility packed to the hilts because Zappa recorded everything, which is super unbelievably cool if you're a fan. And it hasn't been converted to digital yet. It's just like mountainous, monumental amount of stuff that's sitting there. And Alex Winter spent the last 4 or 5 years going through that, making this movie. 4 years, I think. So I'm super excited about it. Of course, I have to give my 2 cents. There's 2 types of Zappa fans. You have the one who will say titties and beer, ha ha ha, or dynamo hum, or film, or for some reason, their uncle who claimed to have taken LSD, which was more than likely he just drank some apple juice and never went to the Fillmore but lied about it, got a tape of the King Biscuit Flower Hour and edited the commercials out. So it's a second generation dupe that this kid heard. It says Fillmore on it. And those are the types of Zappa fans that you'll run into. They know Don't Eat the Yellow Snow. They know Catholic Girls. They'll know some song that their uncle played for them. Then you run into the fans, the people that need help, the people that know how to draw ship arriving too late to save a drowning witch on a cocktail napkin, and realize where that came from. If you pile up some album covers, you'll see that image. Now, the genius of Frank Zappa knows no boundaries. God gave us a gift when he gave us that human being. You simply don't get a finer human being. And we miss him so. We lost him in December of 93. Out of his passing, really nothing good came. His wife kind of lost it, and they were trying to shut down everybody. I mean, every town has a Motley Crue cover band, but there's no Frank Zappa cover bands. There's a few, but they're all guys that used to play in his band. They're the real guys. And the reason for that is the music is very difficult to play. So we see Gail, his wife, shutting down Zappanelli, however you pronounce it, this festival of bootlegs and T-shirts and unlicensed merchandise that was all phony rip-off stuff that they weren't getting any money for. And then everyone in the community freaking out about it, pointing their finger at her, saying that she's a bitch. And it's like, well, who's going to protect this man's legacy? And that was willed by Frank to Amit and to Diva. Two of his kids got the permission to be in charge of the Zappa Family Trust. Now, Dweezil is the more musical son. He's went on to produce his own music. He's a phenomenal guitar player. He knows what he's doing. He's into the production and the electronics. My type of guy. And he's brilliant. He made a choice at some point in his young life to continue trying to foist his original music, his original compositions on the public. And, of course, no one cares. He's always going to live in the shadow of his father. Or take on the monumental task of continuing his father's legacy in a live format, which he chose that. And I can't even believe how good he's done with it. There's a cover band. He doesn't really sing so much. And they do wonderful renditions of his father's music. Now, that camp, Dweezil's camp, is not in line with the other camp they're fighting. Amit, the family trust, coming after Dweezil. You can't use the name. We want the T-shirt money. The fighting, the bickering, it's just horrible. And in the meantime, Lady Gaga buys Frank Zappa's estate with the studio, and it's like, oh my God, all of this is going to be lost. There's this vault. Well, they gave the key to the vault to Alex Winter, put him in charge of making this movie. Now the movie's here. It's 2 hours and 9 minutes. There's a bunch of Zappa cohorts, ex-musicians that played with him. Mike Keneally, Steve Vai, Ruth, Bunk Gardner's in it. And then we've lost a lot of people. And it's a 2 hour and 9 minute movie. Not everyone's in it. Adrian Belew isn't in it. And I think that either Adrian Belew is not so much on board with the Family Trust, or maybe the Family Trust. I don't know. I know that there was a meeting with David Bowie and Frank Zappa, that Belew was there on David Bowie's side because he was leaving, and Frank was not pleased at all. He was saying, fuck you, Captain Tom, to David Bowie. And I don't know. I know that Belew says that he remained friends with Frank and that they had spoken, they had phone conversations. It's none of my business, but it does not surprise me that Adrian Belew does not appear in this movie. I just think it's really a shame, because I know that Adrian Belew has more stories than the one that he's told, the fuck you story. And I want to hear those stories, and this would be a perfect place for them. So, what can I say? That's the one thing about this movie. But you can go over, if you're really excited about this like I am, you can check out the Frank Zappa Movie Facebook page. There is a Zappa Movie. Did I already talk about this? There is an interview, which I'm going to be checking this out. It looks fantastic. ZAPPA Movie Q&A. Director Alex Winter and editor Mike Nichols speak to legendary John Fishman about ZAPPA Movie. This is a 25-minute interview, October 11th. So check that out. That's on Facebook. The ZAPPA Movie has an IMDb page. There's an older Rolling Stone article where they premiered it. The reviews are that this movie is really good. Here I am at zappa.com. So yeah, you're going to want to check out all these links. Zappa.com, the Rolling Stone article, IMDb, and then the Facebook. This movie was originally supposed to be called Who the is Frank Zappa. They took out that. It's just Zappa. And Alex Winter, if you don't know who he is, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, he's the blonde-headed kid. Now, Alex Winter has a website, alexwinter.com. I'm going to want you to go over there and watch The Squeal of Death, Howie Meets the Ghost, and Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels is not safe for work. There is some nudity in that. I got to warn you, it's really funny. It's kind of a dirty joke. It's a video of a dirty joke that he made for, I think, Playboy or Penthouse, something like that. So there is a nude model in that, I got to warn you, but it's one of the funniest things you will ever see in your life. As well as Squeal of Death, he plays this character named Howie. It's the funniest thing. I've been such a massive fan of Squeal of Death ever since it premiered on Night Flight, and I got a VHS tape from my buddy Gary. So you should basically type in Alex Winter short films and just go to town. You can go to his website, but also looking in at YouTube, Isles of Doom. That's one that you're not going to want to miss. Turd Burglar has that up. And he made a movie called Freaked, which I'm going to be checking out. I've seen it. Freaked is really bizarre. Alex Winter is an absolute gem. He's a smart, very funny guy. There was a show called Idiot Box that he had on MTV, which if you can get a hold of those and check that out, there's this thing on that. It was a sketch comedy show. And there was this thing on that called something, the Flying Gimp from Outer Space. And it was a show like Leave It to the Beaver where they had this flying gimp from outer space that stayed with them and stayed with their family. And like there's a bully and like the flying gimp goes and does some horrific things to this bully. It's Alex Winter, and you don't get any better. So when I heard that like there was a key to this vault and they were giving it to Alex Winter, I could not have been happier. And now that day has come, so this is a wonderful day for me. Join me in celebrating the life of Frank Zappa. If you haven't read his book, the real Frank Zappa book, you should read that. It's really a fun read. What can I say? It's Zappa. It doesn't get any better. It really doesn't. And I'm a huge fan of 200 Motels. Seen that movie way more times than I should have for how good it is. It's just pretty bad. That being said, anything Zappa is worth your time. Anything with that guy's name on it, you're in for a treat. And me, I am a rabid Frank Zappa fan. I can't get enough. I love all the documentaries. I love all the stuff I can learn about it because for me, the music's fantastic, but I love all that extra stuff. I really do. I love finding out about their lives, the stuff that they said. And this man was brilliant, and he had a gift for speaking. There's two rock stars that I can listen to talk to the end of time. Just listening to them speak is highly, highly entertaining for me because they're brilliant. And the way that they've learned to express themselves verbally is an art nobody else can compete with. And one of those guys is Roger Waters. I really love listening to Roger Waters. He's very arrogant. He's very kind of sounds like he's full of himself. But the guy's brilliant. And he really means well. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all of his politics, but I love Roger Waters. I really do. He's a brilliant guy, and he made some of the finest music. The other guy is Frank Zappa. And he's brilliant. He's really funny. And I can't tell you how excited I am for this movie. So definitely, I'll leave some links in the description. I'm going to ask you to go check out some of that Alex Winter stuff because you're going to love it. All right, I'll see you guys. I'm sure after the 27th, I'm going to be making another video. I'll do a review of this thing because I'm probably going to watch it 3 times in a row. I just cannot wait. Cannot wait. Because I don't think I've ever really heard Bunk Gardner talk. And I've always loved that guy. I just love him. Anybody in Frank Zappa's band. Anybody. You gotta love him. I mean, it doesn't get any better. I can't tell you how much of a fan I am of this stuff. So, that being said, I don't really have a collection. I've got 2 Thing Fish cassettes. I've got Tinseltown Rebellion, and then I've got the first Zappa tape that I ever obtained in my life, which is Shake Your Booty. And I think that's all. I got Strictly Commercial on CD. So yeah, my digital collection, I got a lot of Zappa. On MP3, I've got a massive folder. But what was that thing that he did on the Synclavier? There's a release. It's just the digital stuff. It's Cold and Human Element, I think it's called. That's really cool. I messaged Baloo about that, and he didn't know about it. And I hooked him up with a link, which made me feel pretty cool. Oh, well. I mean, I might not be the sharpest stick in the bunch, but I try. Okay, you guys. It's been a lot of fun helping you guys out. And, well, I don't want to say it like that. Trying to find out about stuff that's hip and fun and share that with people on my channel. It's a lot of fun for me doing this, making these types of videos. This one was tough. I remade this video many times trying to get it right rather than editing it because I like doing it. I don't know, I like it better when it's not all like me, like my head shifting because I've edited all these and I'm like ghosting into another thing, and I like having that a little bit of the roughness in there with me, not knowing what I'm talking about, scratching my ear all the time. But I hope somebody said to me that they weren't so much of a Mr. Bungle fan until I had recommended that. So if you're still listening, if you're here, buddy, you got to check out that Disco Volante album. There's those 3 albums. And Frank said in an interview, they asked him about music, and he said that Mr. Bungle was the only band that was around that was worth half a shit, is what he was quoted as saying. And, of course, if you read any Mike Patton interviews, he'll say that used to always come up. People would say, boy, you're all big Zappa fans, aren't you? And he was like, no, we're not. Because they weren't. They weren't. They knew what it was, and yeah, they were fans of it, but they weren't like obsessive fans like I am. You know what I mean? Anyway. I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween. I'm going to be tuned into that Mr. Bungle live stream thing. I got to get a ticket for that. It's like $15. It's a lot of money for me to spend, but I'm not going to miss it out. I've got to see it. I know they're going to do something special, and I really want to experience it on Halloween. So that'll be my McDonald's money. When was the last time we went to McDonald's, honey?
I don't know.
With Linnea when she graduated?
Maybe if it was 2015.
2015 was the last time I ate at McDonald's. All right, you guys. And I'm this fat. I love you guys. Take care.